Hey there, you guys. What's up? What's up? So, I want to talk about sales today. And why this is really coming up is because I'm really seeing a lot of things gone wrong in the sales department with my clients. And so, clients and like industry, industry wide. So, I want to just kind of start off with like asking you a question. So, I'm curious, have you ever been on a sales call where someone told you, oh my gosh, I see the value and I know this would help me and I just don't have the money right now? And then you walk away feeling very confused because they clearly see the value, but they don't buy. Or maybe you start thinking, it's my price? Is it my offer? Or are people not investing in things like this right now? Or is what I put together really not valuable? Right? So if any of that sounds familiar, then I want you to stay with me today because this issue it's probably not what you think, right? So here's what usually happens next, right? Um, One of those, if you've ever had one of the sales calls, just like let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to know. I sure as shit have. I mean, gosh, I even remember back in 2019, it was like my breaking point. I was living in my best friend's basement, trying to figure out this thing called business. I had just got off a sales call with yet another non-buyer. She was literally like, Carissa, oh my God, I love this. I really need this. This could help me. How much is it? And then I shared her the investment and she's like, yeah, okay. I just can't do it right now. Right. And at the time, you guys, that was like such a low investment compared to what I do now with my clients. So it's just crazy. Like I had actually had a harder time selling lower ticket offers that back then than I do selling high ticket offers now. And it has nothing to do with the price. Okay. So I've been in the shoes of the coach who, shows up and she's intentional and she's ready to go with her sales scripts and her slide deck is perfect. And we still walk away with no sale. So here's what usually happens next, right? You start guessing yourself, you start tweaking your pricing, you start over explaining, things on sales calls. You probably offer all different types of payment plans that you honestly don't want to offer, or you start carrying that emotional weight of like oh my gosh, nobody's going to buy from me. There's that pressure that kind of sits in, and slowly, without realizing it, your confidence starts to erode. Not because your work isn't powerful, but because you're making their decision mean something about you. When they say no on the sales call, you're going internal with it, right? Now, if you haven't met me yet and you're just kind of new to my following, hello. I'm Carissa Atkins. I am a business mindset and identity leadership coach, and I help high-level women, coaches, consultants, and service-based providers scale their income by mastering their identity, their energy, and their clean sales leadership. So after coaching hundreds of women, I can fully tell you this 100% with all certainty. Most sales problems are not strategy problems. They're energy, confidence, and leadership leaking problems. Okay. So in this live, I kind of want to talk to you and kind of walk you through the 4 biggest gaps that I see that cause potential clients to say, I see the value, but I'm still not investing today. And more importantly, you guys, I want you to start seeing why detached leadership energy is the missing piece. Okay. So a big gap that I'm seeing in the industry today is that, again, women are making that no mean something about them. Okay. So this first gap is this, right? And it's such a huge one because you're still making their decision mean something about you, your offer, and your value. And when someone says that they can't afford something and your mind immediately goes to maybe my price is too high, maybe people aren't buying right now, the economy sucks, maybe I'm attracting the wrong people, that's attachment. So detached energy says this person sees the value and they're not resourced right now. Both can be true, right? They can see the value, they can want something so desperate, but they're not resourceful enough right now for them to go out and create the funds to pay for your offer. That's not a you problem, that's a them problem. Okay. And when you start to internalize this, you internalize their financial reality into your identity, your energy shifts even if words don't. Okay, so that is a huge gap, right? We see that in on a sales call problems. I review so many of my clients' sales calls. I watch them, and then the minute that they, share their price, I can literally feel the energy go from fun, exciting, let's just talk about this, to desperate. Oh, this is all about me, right? And I'm like, it's not none of that is about you. Okay. So try not to take the no on a sales call personal. Plus, if you're getting a yes or a no, you guys, that is so much better than a maybe, let me think about it. Because if you get a maybe and let me think about it, then you've not done your job on the sales call, right? Someone should know if they have a problem and you have a solution, they should know very easy if they want to work with you on their problem, right? Do they feel like they can trust you? Is the value there? Like they're internally checking all these boxes inside their subconscious mind. They're saying, oh my gosh, she's been in my shoes. She knows exactly what I'm going through. Her proven methodology is amazing. It sounds great. It's definitely something that I think I can do. That's an important piece, but we're not going to dive into your proven methodology today. But if you don't have one, holy shit, you need to get a proven methodology. You need to create one. It's something that I help every single one of my clients create, because you absolutely need your custom methodology, not the 12-week coaching program certification that you just graduated from's methodology. You need yours. Okay. This is not 2001. This is not 1988, right? Like, you need your custom framework on how you help your client go from blah to badass. Okay. But again, we're not going into methodology right now. I'm talking sales energetics. All right. So gap number 2 is what I call leading with heart, but with no standards. So the second gap I see is leading with heart, but not real leadership. And I hear this all the time, right? Literally almost every single one of my clients, when they first come to work with me, they're like, I just want to help as many people as possible. And although that's really beautiful, that actually screams, I don't have any boundaries. I have no idea who my actual target audience is. And I guarantee you're probably hopping on a lot of sales calls if you're trying to help everybody. I guarantee you're hopping on a lot of sales calls with people who are not the right fit. And anyone who is not a right fit, trust me, they're going to say no on a sales call because they're not a right fit. And you're going to honestly probably know it too. So your job on a sales call is not to be accessible to everyone. Your job is to work with the person who is ready, who is available, and who is resourced. And what I mean by resource, guys, is not everyone like walks around with an extra 10 grand in their bank account, right? I get that. A lot of people's money is tied up in investments and all kinds of things, right? But for me, I only work with women. A woman who is very resourceful will go out and find a way. No ifs, ands, buts about it, right? She will literally know, okay, what do I got to do to work with this coach? Because she knows that what I bring to the table is fucking game changing, right? So when clients come to me, and I guess they're not really clients when they come to me at first, right? They come to me on their sales calls and they are resourceful. They're like, okay, yeah, this financially doesn't make sense, but I fucking found the money and I'm ready to go. And I'm like, awesome, right? And that, honestly, that energetic line, when someone says, I'm going to find a way to make this work, that is a client I absolutely want to work with, right? Because they are going to stop at nothing to get the results, right? They're definitely going to be very resourceful. And so that's a really important piece, is your ideal client has to be ready. They have to be available for your work. They have to see that they're going to be able to use your proven methodology and to get them the help that they want, the solution, and they have to be resourceful. So when you're emotionally aligned with someone's struggle, instead of standing in your standards, your energy begins to soften, and your sales require clarity, not softness. Okay. So you need to hold the standard. Like, this is who we work with. This is what we do. This is our proven methodology. This is how we get results every single day. And that's the confidence that you need to bring to the sales calls. Okay. Don't try and help everyone. And I used to do this, you guys. I used to be like, but I can help everyone. Like, I have the big heart of gold and I want to help everyone. But like, now, after being in business close to 7 years, I don't want to help everyone. I want everyone to get the help that they need. But me personally, I do not want to help everyone. I've tried supporting young teen girls on coaching programs. I've worked with stay-at-home mamas. I've worked with corporate. I've worked with men. I've worked with everyone under the sun. And that's why I learned this the hard way, because I'm guaranteeing you right now, guys, if you are chasing the dollar and not the actual like passion behind that person, right? Like not the transformation. If you are chasing the dollar because you're desperate and you need money, that client will not be a really good fit for you 2 months, 3 months, or even 6 months down the road. I'm telling you, they're going to actually probably be your worst clients because you've bent the boundary instead of holding the standard. So know who you work with and know who you get results for. Don't try and help everybody. Okay, gap number 3 that I'm really seeing in the industry and the economy today, or the industry today, is confusing objections with qualification. Okay, so the third gap is just calling this no, not today, or I need to think about it, as an objection. It's not. This is actually a qualification mistake. Because the minute someone books a sales call with you, they should know they're hopping on a call with you to discuss a potential partnership, a potential mentorship program. Like, they're not stupid, right? If someone's booking a call with you because they have a problem, again, they're in blah and they want to go to badass, they're hopping on a call with you to make sure that you're the right fit. And if you're not the right fit, they're going to say no. And no is not an objection. Right? So we need to stop looking at how do I get better at objection handling? How about we just get better at pre-qualifying the people and the leads that come onto our calendar, right? You hopping on a sales call with everybody and trying to overcome their objections, that's where sales feels icky. Of course, that feels like shit on a sales call when you're trying to talk somebody into something that they don't actually need or want, or they're not the right fit. Okay, so I don't want to handle objections anymore. So what I do is I make sure that my pre-sales call process, and it's literally an A to Z process. I follow it every single time. I am pre-qualifying that person with every single interaction I have with them. Okay, I have a beautiful framework that helps my clients pre-qualify their clients. Now, if I give them the framework and they're still hopping on sales calls with everyone, that's their own bad, right? Like, I can literally give you the golden map to success. And if your ass doesn't use it, that's your own problem, right? But like, if you're hopping on calls and you're getting objection after objection, and objections like, I don't know if now's the right time. I need to ask my partner. I don't have the funds. I'm just not quite sure. I'm still looking, and looking around the market, like, right? Serious buyers know what they're looking for and what their expertise they're looking to hire out for, right? Like, women come to me when they know they have an identity leadership issue and they don't have their proven methodology. They don't have their sales processes laid out. Like, they know what the fuck I do for my clients. And I'm very crystal clear on my sales calls with exactly how I'm going to help them and what they're going to be able to achieve if they work with the program. It's not rocket science, guys. Okay, so stop trying to handle objections. And I want to encourage you to really look at your pre-sales call qualification process. Okay, red light, green light. Does this person pass every time you have a conversation with them? Are they really your ideal client? Okay, stop chasing the dollar and start focusing on who you're actually supposed to serve. All right, gap number 4 that I'm seeing is trying to convince instead of lead. So the fourth and final gap here is trying to convince someone to buy into your program. So the moment you start convincing or trying to convince, you've already lost your power. Okay, convincing creates hesitation, and hesitation creates messy experiences. So your role on a sales call is not to persuade a person. I mean, they have to really feel empowered to want to do the work, right? That is leadership. The minute you have to start persuading and shoving in bonuses and all that kind of crap on your sales call, you've already lost your advantage. Okay. You're not leading from sovereignty. You're leading from desperation. You're leading from, I've got to get this client, right? That's icky energy. And I'm telling you, I can hear that in people's voices all the time when I'm rewatching my client sales calls. So leadership says, here's what I see, here's how I help, you get to decide, right? Like, I feel like coaches, I know, at least I'm speaking, of course, on my own journey, is like, I used to convince and I got really good at convincing. But once you convince a person, they now say yes out of obligation just because they were like, there's so much pressure, right? Like the minute that they feel pressure and they actually say yes out of that pressure, 30 days later, 60 days later, 6 months later, they are trying to get out of it. They're trying to get out of their contract. They're like, again, a difficult client. And you don't want to work with difficult clients, guys. Like, trust me, you don't want to work with difficult clients. Okay. You're constantly having to pull them. You're constantly having to beg them to get on their calls. They're always late, right? Like, these are not your ideal clients. So the iconic leader that I want you to start tapping into is, again, here's what I see as your problem. Here are your gaps. Here's how I can help you. This is my proven methodology. Now you get to make an empowered decision. It's either a yes or a no, and I'm fine with either one. Okay. I only want to work with women who are a big hell yes for their goals, desires, and dreams. I shouldn't have to, try and, motivate you to want to achieve your dreams. I will guide you. I will stretch you. I will coach you. I will mentor you. But at the end of the day, you got to know what you want. I will help you get there, but you got to know what you want, and you got to be willing to take responsibility for your actions. Those are the types of clients I absolutely love to work with. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about detached energy and why it matters so much, because here's the truth, you guys. People don't say no to offers. They say no to your energy, right? Desperate energy repels. Detachment energy attracts. So detached energy doesn't mean that you don't care, right? It's not like, hey, fuck you if you don't want my program, right? Like, that's a different energy all alone. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is, saying what you have to say and detaching from the outcome. Like, if you want to build a 7-figure business and you want to step into your most powerful leadership era yet, right? Like, you have to want that. I've already learned how to do that. I've already built a successful company. I've already built, successful self-leadership. Do I continue to work on myself? Yes, absolutely. I could never imagine my life or my business without coaching and mentorship in it. So of course I'm a client of other coaches. Duh. Right? Like, if I want to get there faster, I don't go at it alone. That's for sure. Like, I couldn't even imagine doing my life and business without mentorship and sisterhood and collective, energy, masterminding, and peer support. But detached energy really just means that you trust yourself, you trust your offer, you trust your process, whether the answer is yes or no on the call. Okay. So you should end that call just like you went into that call, aligned, grounded, energetically on fire. Okay. So I actually teach my clients how to, detach from the outcome and just really step into their alignment. It's awesome, awesome work. So this is the exact work that I do with my clients. Actually, we don't just talk about sales scripts. We don't just talk about like the 2-part sales sequence. I don't just give them, a clear list of sales activities to do every day. We truly work on the woman behind the brand. Because your sales scripts will only get you so far before your prices need to raise, and then your energy goes off again, the lack of self-doubt, the lack of confidence, all of that. It's really the work that I do is helping build the woman behind the brand. Hopefully that makes sense. Because I can give you strategies all day long, but if you don't feel like, if you're not the woman who can literally do the thing, if you're not disciplined and consistent with the action steps, you're never going to get the result. Okay. So yeah, we can talk sales scripts, and yes, I'm going to give you the processes. Yes, I'm going to give you my proven frameworks for how I built a 7-figure business. Yes, I'm going to give you, the tools and the techniques for how you can become an amazing, outstanding, iconic leader, of course. Okay. But what we work on really is identity, confidence, standards, boundaries, energetic leadership. So sales stops feeling so heavy, because when you trust yourself, you stop chasing. And when you stop chasing people lean in and they're like, oh my God, I'm attracted to that, right? It's like sexy marketing. All right. If any of that resonated with you, I'm just curious. Like, I want to know, right? Nothing is wrong with you or your offer. Okay. I want you to know that right now. But if what I'm talking about, if you're like, oh my gosh, she's kind of onto something and I definitely need to work on it, this is a leadership shift. This is not a I need more strategy around sales shift. Okay. This is a leadership identity shift. It's an energetic shift. It's a confidence shift. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So make sure that you subscribe to either our Alpha Queen Insider list, right? Get daily tips and strategies and meditations and hacks and all of the amazing things to really help you step into your most iconic leadership era ever. Or you can always follow my podcast, right? Every Monday, I record a brand new podcast over on Iconic Leadership Podcast Show. So this is your invitation. Right. And or maybe if you're a woman that's like, oh my God, I really need to work on myself so that my business, my brand can actually do what I want it to do. If that's you, then just book a call with me. But only book a call with me if you're really ready to become the best version of you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. All right, you guys, I'm going to head out. I hope you enjoyed this little mini training. Drop a comment below with what came up for you. Say hi to Lady in the back. All right, you guys, I love you and I will see you later. Bye.